Hello, it is Cami from the blog Tidbits at tidbits-cami.com. Now, if you have ever lived without countertops in your kitchen, you are familiar with the joy that fills your heart when you finally have them. We are just chipping away at the progress on our new kitchen in our new pole barn home we've built, and I want to share with you our whole DIY process for building our beautiful Butcher Block countertops and all about them. So first, why did we choose Butcher Block? So we have a U-shaped kitchen and we are doing a little mix of countertop materials. If you missed our design plans for the kitchen, I'll leave a link for you. Now, truth be told, I really wanted marble countertops, but after evaluating the cost of this high maintenance material, we opted for Butcher Block, something that we felt more comfortable doing ourselves and would save us hundreds. I still really want some Carrara marble in the kitchen, so we have actually bought some marble remnants at an incredible price, and we're going to cut and polish it ourselves for this small countertop space on either side of our Verona range, and a big slab for the backsplash. I think having the mix of warm wood countertops and just a bit of my favorite stone will be quite lovely. Now let's talk about the type of wood that we used for these Butcher Block countertops. We used a white oak. Now oak is a hardwood, and that makes it more durable for countertops compared to something like pine, which is a softwood. Now I think white oak is our new favorite wood because it is warm without having red or orange tones in it. We played around with a sample of the white oak and decided that we really loved it when we put on a layer of pickling stain and then sanded it off. It leaves some white running through the wood grain, and it makes the wood overall a softer color. It is just so pretty. We found our white oak from a friend who has his own finishing company, and we were like a couple of kids in a candy store looking at all of his beautiful wood and choosing which one we wanted, and we knew right away that we wanted white oak after we saw how lovely it looked. I want to talk about real quick how we built them. I will walk you through my Mr. Tidbits process for building and finishing these countertops, as well as the products we have used. So we started with wood pieces that were 5 inches wide and 1 3/4 inches thick. Now for the sake of ease and beauty, we opted to do a face grain Butcher Block top, meaning that the face of the wood is on top versus a true edge grain or end grain countertop. Now you can Google those terms and see a whole ton of examples and pros and cons of each method. Now you have to plane your wood pieces before you begin gluing them together. We were so grateful that our friend and wood supplier was willing to run our wood through his industrial planer. By the time we picked it up, it was all smooth, planed, and ready to be glued together. Kevin used a lot of clamps and wood glue to adhere the pieces of wood together and let it dry sufficiently before moving on to the next step. Once the glue had dried, we used a natural wood filler to fill all the holes and the knots in the wood. This particular rustic white oak does have a lot of knots, but we find that adds to the rustic beauty of the wood. So once the filler was dry in each of the holes, it was time to give it a really good sanding and make all the wood pieces nice and even. If you have a planer big enough, running the whole chunk through there would also be a great and much easier way to clean and even this up. Okay, at that point it was time to stain. We applied 1 layer of pickling stain and let that dry, and then he once again sanded it to remove most of the pickling stain layer, just leaving that lovely white running through the wood grain. Okay, I want to talk to you about the choice that we made to add marble around the faucet and the back of our large Blanco Fireclay sink. So I saw this image on Pinterest. I know, my husband's favorite thing for me to say. It was a picture of wood countertops, and it had a little piece of marble just under the faucet. I thought it was a very interesting concept, so we decided to make the bold move and try out this idea for ourselves, but on a little bit of a larger scale. Now, it makes perfect sense when you think of how much water can drop from your hands back and forth from the faucet And wood definitely has a tendency to get water damage when compared to stone. So we were very nervous about this idea, but decided to cut some marble to fit the back of the sink only, and Kevin used his drill press to cut the holes for the faucet and trimmed out enough marble to make it the thickness of the butcher block. Then we caulked along the seams. This is a very unique idea, and I have to say we are thrilled with the results. It really adds some character to the sink area and to the countertops. Now in another video I will address more details on our Blanco Fireclay sink, so check back for that. All right, let's talk about how we sealed the wood. Now, we knew we had a couple of options when it comes to sealing the wood, which of course is very necessary for an area that will be exposed to a lot of moisture. Most butcher block countertops are sealed with a simple food-safe mineral oil, and the mineral oil treats the wood all the way through and allows you to basically use your countertops as a cutting board if desired. Now you have to frequently apply that oil to protect the surface. Now where we had applied a pickling stain, I didn't see our countertop as being food safe, and the stain had already opened up the wood pores. So I picked the brains of my local paint shop, whom I always go to for these tricky questions, and they highly recommended a clear coat or a polyurethane, which protects your wood from the top. This treatment does run the risk of getting the surface of your countertop scratched, but I've never had a countertop where I didn't have to use cutting boards or dishes to prep my food, so this was a fine solution for me. Now I wanted the wood to be kept as natural raw looking as much as possible, so they recommended the acrylic based Benjamin Moore clear coat called Stays Clear. I got the flat finish to keep it a nice matte look. Now I've used other water-based clear coats with success, but he mentioned most other clear coats will have a slight cool or warm tint, where this Stays Clear brand is a true clear. Now that all sounded great to me. We may need to reapply a layer every few years, but it's a lot easier upkeep than the mineral oil, but that would have to be applied much more frequent than that. One thing we read that made sense to me was also to seal the underside of the countertop, which should help prevent excess swelling and cracking in the wood seams. So we did that also. My husband absolutely loves to work with wood, so this was quite an enjoyable project. I love the warmth it brings to the kitchen space and how it coordinates so well with our European wire brushed white oak flooring and all the other cooler colors and elements in this space. Be sure to check out my mood board to catch a glimpse of how we plan to bring all these lovely elements together to create our one-of-a-kind pole barn kitchen. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video and learned a few things. Most of all, I hope it inspired you to create with your own hands and discover the joy in doing so. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to follow along for more inspiration for do-it-yourself living.